Size your math board. Wait a minute, please. This should never require you to get up out of your seat.
Oh. Okay. After you have put your daily math away, I need you to get a whiteboard and a marker and an eraser. You can stay at your answer right now. You're not coming back. You also need to look at the letter that is on your desk because I will be pulling sticks. So make sure you know your letter.
I'm going.
Do you not have one? Okay,
I'm third.
Right.
I'm third because I'm
Okay, does everyone know their numbers?
Yes.
Letters and letters. Okay,
Right here.
so what Madison did, she wrote this letter in the corner of her whiteboard so she will remember. If you don't think you won't be able to remember, this is a really good strategy that you can use. We're not drawing on our whiteboard. Okay. 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 Table 4. Do you need a driver's license? Table 4, you can come to the carpet. Wait, there are markers in that pinkish bucket. Ish. It's pink and white. I should probably just say pink and white. Pink and white. Okay, table 3, you can come to the carpet.
All right, baby. Thank you.
Choose one. There's a whole bunch. Grab and pull. There you go. Table 1, you can come to the carpet. Candy, does that not work?
Oh, yeah. We're still working on
Okay, table 2. Christian, you'll need a whiteboard. What? Oh, you're right. Sorry. You're good. You're just okay. For right now, you raise it. I already told you. If you can't follow instructions for that, you're not gonna have it.
Oh no.
Okay, for right now, you can put your whiteboards on the carpet in front of you. You can put your markers and your erasers on top. Awesome. So, while we're waiting for the smart board, we're going to talk a little bit. So, today, can anyone read probably someone over here, the learning goal for today? Okay, I will use and find strategies to help solve multiplication problems. If you didn't hear that. Emma, I'm sorry, can you get a whiteboard and a marker and an eraser and sit at the carpet for me? Thank you, sweetie. Okay. Yeah? Oh, okay.
I'm waiting on this computer to come up.
Okay, so while we're waiting, we're going to talk about what we're going to do a little bit, and then we're actually going to do it. Technical difficulties that happens, you know? Okay, so we're going to use and find patterns. So you guys have been working on your multiplication facts for a while now. Some of you guys are there with your SMAD. So like you know it. Today we're going to kind of analyze and look at how we can find multiplication facts and what are the different parts and what we can do to help us find it quicker and kind of check our answers. So do you use
Yeah, I got it. You go ahead.
So we're going to look specifically at nines, but before we go to, because 9 is kind of a big number to multiply and I get confused with it. What? Awesome. So we're going to start with skip counting for 2s. So together, we're all going to skip count 2s. 2,
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22.
Awesome. Y'all good. Thank you. So we did, what was the last one? We did 2 times, or we did 22, or yeah, 22. What do we multiply by 2 to get 22? 11. Oh, thank you. 11 times 2 equals 22. Awesome. Let me get to where we are. Awesome. Okay. And then, so do you see a pattern or hear a pattern when we count by 2s? Does anyone see a pattern with that? I'll write it down. So we have, nope.
It's green now. Yeah,
There we go. 2, 4, no. There we go. 6, 8, 10,
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22.
Awesome. So do you see a pattern in any of these numbers?
Yeah. When it has the 2 and the 12, they both have 2s
in the what place?
The 1.
The ones place. Okay, any other patterns in circle? N. Yes, what other patterns do you see?
There's like the 2 and the 2, then the 4 and the 4, and then the 6 and the 6 and the 8 and the 8 and the 2, 0 and the 0.
That's what she said. The ones places are the same after we get to 10. J.
Yes, you do.
Do you see any other patterns?
Every time that it goes, it goes up 2.
It goes up to.
Like if you go like up and down and up, it goes up again.
Okay, yeah, you're right. H. H, is H here? Cool. P.
No one needs to know.
Yes, what other patterns do you see? What about the numbers themselves? What kinds of numbers are those? They're all evens. So whenever we skip count or multiply by 2, our products are going to be even. What are products? What's the definition of a product? V. V. Yes. What's a product?
A product is an answer to a multiplication problem.
Yes, so it's the answer to the multiplication problem. So with 2s, our products are always going to be, what again? Even. Okay, let's try and do it by skip count by 5. So all together, let's skip count. 5,
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40,
okay, we can stop. Going way too fast. 20,
25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80.
Okay, cool. I said stop. Listen. Okay. D. What patterns do you see in these? I know I kind of wrote them.
It's counting by fives.
We're counting by fives, we're multiplying by fives. Yes, so we skip counted by 5, so it's going up 5 every time. X. X. Okay, y'all can put your hands down because I'm pulling sticks. S. Yes. Do you see another pattern? Yes, so Maya just said it goes odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. Because it's 5, which is odd, 10, which is even, 15, which is odd, and so on and so forth. What numbers does it change in, what numbers change in the ones place? F. You have F? Yes. What numbers are we switching between with the ones place?
The ones place, the 5 becomes, it's like a 5, it starts with 5, then it goes 0, 5, 0, 5, 0.
5, 0, 5, 0. So we can say one of the patterns of the multiples of 5. What are multiples again? K. Okay, what are multiples again?
That's you, Colby.
Do you know what multiples are? Do you remember?
Multiples are another word for like numbers of. It's like multiples are answers that
You're right.
factors are.
You're getting there. I think I know what you're trying to say. Keep on going. Do you want me to finish it? Okay, so multiples are just another word for product. So they're the answers to the multiplication facts, just like products are the answers to a multiplication sentence. So is that what you're trying to say? I could see you were piecing it together. Okay, so we can see that the ones place of each multiple, Gabriel, you don't need that yet, thank you. To each multiple of 5 either ends in a 5 or ends in a 0. So we found some of the patterns that are in the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 9 or of 5. Now we're going to look at multiples of 9. So we're just going to say the multiples of 9. I know you guys know it. And remember, when I say stop, we're going to stop counting. Okay? So yeah, we can go to
900.
9,
18, 136, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, 100.
A 100 is not a multiple of 72, 81, 90. Okay, stop. They kind of are, and then I think it's kind of difficult, and some other people might find it difficult. So that's why we're looking at the patterns and strategies to find it. Okay? So I know for me and for some other people, finding 9 is difficult. And when I was learning my multiplication facts, 9s were the hardest for me until I found some strategies and patterns that could help me. So what we're going to do, one of my favorite strategies to find 9's facts is to do that's what we're going to talk about, that's not my favorite one though, is the add 10 and subtract 1 strategy. So this is a way that if you have a product or a multiple of 9, you can find the next multiple by adding 10 and subtracting 1. So, if we have 9, what's 9 plus 10?
19.
19. Oh, that was wrong. 10 equals 19. So we have 19 minus 1, which is
18.
18.
Which is another.
And when we're looking at the factors that equal 18, what are the factors that equal 18? What are factors again? U. What are factors?
Factors are like the numbers that make the product of in a multiplication.
Yes. The factors are the two numbers, or more than two numbers, depending on how advanced we're going to get. Numbers that we multiply together to get the product or the answer in a multiplication sentence. So what are the two factors that we multiply together to get 18? M. Is M here? B. What two factors do we multiply together? So we know that we already have 9. What do we multiply by 9 to get 18? Okay, so what do we multiply by 9 to get 9? 9 times what equals 9? 1. So if 18 is the next multiple of 9, what do we multiply by 9 to get 18? 2. So with this, we added the first multiple of 9, which is 9, because 9 times 1 equals 9, plus 10 to get what again? Everyone? 19. And then we subtracted 1 from 19 to get the actual multiple, which is 18. So we're going to do this for the next one. Do it down here. So 18 plus 10, thank you, Adrian, equals 28. This is very bad handwriting. Okay, so we have 28. What do we do next? G. G. Emma, are you G? Okay, yes, Emma.
We're gonna put
28 minus 1, which equals everyone?
27.
27.
I found something.
Now, is that the next multiple of 9?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, AJ, what did you find?
That every multiple on the ones, it goes down by 1. And in the tens ones, it goes up by 1.
That's really great that you found it, but we're going to talk about that later. Okay, so, yes, Colton, do you have a question?
Odd, even, yeah, I saw that too.
You're right. And that's because when you multiply, or when you add an odd number and an odd number, what do you always get?
Even.
An even number. And if you, not during instruction, if you add an odd number and an even number, you always get an odd number as the answer. And if you add an even number and an even number, you get an odd number. So we're skip counting, skip counting 9's right here. So when we're skip counting, what math, what kind of math are we doing? No, what kind of math are we? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. When we're skip counting. When we're skip counting. When we're multiplying, we're actually adding 2. So each time we're adding 9, which is 9 odd or even? Odd. So when we're adding 9s over and over again, we're always going to see that pattern. Just like with 5s. So 5s are always odd. Or 5 is odd. So that's why we saw that odd, even pattern as well. So we're going to see that odd, even pattern with every single odd number that we're multiplying. Okay, so now what I want to do with a shoulder partner, I want you to go ahead and list out all of the multiples of 9 up until 90.
90?
Yes. Not during instructions. Okay, AJ, on your whiteboards, write out the multiples of 90. Sorry. What? Okay, 13. Write it out. Tell it to me. Okay, awesome. I'm going to rewrite the number here. Okay, everyone back? Everyone back? Okay. So you're going to keep these lists of multiples on your whiteboards because we're going to be looking at them later. Okay? So, yes.
I saw something. When you're counting by 9, there's one number that can help you do one number. 45 is just flipped around for your next number, 54.
It is flipped around. That's a really good observation. Okay, so hands down right now. Okay, so with your shoulder partners again, I want you to look at the relations between the numbers that are in the tens place and the numbers that are in the ones place. But before we do that, with 9, what number do we have in the tens place? T. Is T here? Yes, what number do we have in the tens place for 9? 0. So I'm going to write this here, just so you guys remember, so you can keep that in your head, since we don't really necessarily think that 0 is in front of any 1, like with 1 by itself. Okay, so with your shoulder partner, and AJ, you can work with Leo and Goldie, you're going to look at how the numbers in the ones places of the products and in the tens places of the products relate, and see if you can find any patterns. Okay, I'm going to give you a few moments. Go. Okay, but you're right. It's good. Okay, come back together. Come back together. I heard some really, really good conversation. Double A. What's some things that you guys talked about? Yes, so we can see that the tens place is going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9. And then the ones place is going backwards. So it's going 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and so on. So that's a really good observation. What about A? A? Regular, 1A. Is A here? Okay. R. Yes. Kylie, what's another thing that you guys talked about? All of the multiples equal 9. That's really, really good. So if you let's use 0 and 9 for the first one. If you add 0 plus 9, what do you get?
9.
You get 9. 1 plus 8?
9.
2 plus 7?
9.
Okay, let's try to do this one. 9 plus 0.
9.
It's 9. So that's one thing. So how does that help us when we're looking at multiplication facts? I want to give you some think time. How do you think knowing that the multiples, the digits and the multiples of 9 add up to 9? How do you think that would help you when trying to figure out multiples of 9? Okay, come back together. W. Is W here? W. C. C. How? You're not C. You have not during instruction. Yes. How do you think knowing that the multiples of 9 add up to 9 would help you when trying to figure out these 9 facts? How do you think that would help you when trying to figure it out? Do you have an idea? Okay. I think I heard Kylie say it. Kylie, what were you saying about how this would help you?
I said, you know that first multiple is 9, and then you could always say 1 plus 8 equals 9, so, and then you add the 1 and the 8 equals 18, so you would know the multiple.
So you would know that if you're multiplying by 9 and the 2 digits don't add up to 9, then you don't have the right multiple, right? Because if I accidentally said that 2 times 9 is 17, does 1 and 7 add up to 9? No, so I wouldn't know, or yes, 1 and 7 don't add up to 9, so I would say those don't add up to 9, so that can't be a multiple of 9. Do you have any questions about this? No? Cool. So, now we're going to look at the factors and the products together. So, I'm going to write out a couple. So, 1 times 9 is, we all know it? 9. 2 times 9?
18.
18. 3 times 9?
27.
27.
36.
4 times 9? 30. Oh, that's the wrong one. 36. Okay, this time with your shoulder partner, I want you to look at the relationship between the factors of the multiplication sentence and the product. So you guys came up with some really good patterns that you saw with just the multiples. Now I want you to look at the patterns that you can see with the multiples or the products of the facts and the factors. So go ahead and talk to your partner for a few seconds. You don't go to the bathroom. Is it an emergency or do you just need to go? Don't go during instructions. Hurry up. Okay, let's bring it back together. AJ, thank you. Okay, let's bring it back together. O. What are some things that you and your partner talked about? Who's O? Yes. Yes. Those. O. Do you not have O today? Q. Oh, you're O. What are some things that you and your partner talked about? When looking at the products and the factors of 9s, what are some things that you and your partner talked about? Thank you. Did you guys talk about anything? What was it? Do you remember? Okay, Q. Yes, what are some things that you noticed between the products and the factors of 9s? Did you see anything? Okay, how about one more?
I see a pattern.
Okay, what pattern do you see?
In the multiplication, and it's like 3 times 9, and all the 9s are going down.
Well, yeah, that's how I wrote them. Do you see anything in relation to how the products of the multiplication sentence relate to the factors that are written? Do you see anything? Okay. AJ, what did you see?
That the first factor in the multiplication sentence is always greater than the first in the sentence.
Yes, it's always greater. So he was saying the first factor in the multiplication sentence is always how much greater?
1.
It's always 1 greater than the number that's in the tens place of the product. So that's one thing. Yes, Dylan, what's another thing that you see?
If you put a line of numbers 0 to 9, and then another line right next to it, 9 to 0, you'll get all your 9s back.
Yeah, that's what we talked about on the last slide. That's one of them. In relation to how the factors, we're looking at the factors and the products of the numbers. Did anyone see anything? Yes, Leah.
The ones go down for
Yeah, the ones go down. We talked about that too. Yes.
the factors goes up like 6, 7, 8, 9, or 9, 8, 7. And then like the red part of the factors, like the 10s in the factor.
Of the
1, 2, 3.
Factors or the products?
Correct.
Products, yeah.
1, 2, 3, and then the other one was 6, 7, 8.
Yes. Okay, we can put our whiteboards and our markers down for right now. Whiteboards and markers down for right now. Okay, you're right. Did anyone think to look at the products in the ones places? Yes. Maria.
That when you see the first factor in the multiplication sentence, the product and the ones can become a 0 because 4 plus 6 equals 10, and then 3 plus 7 equals 10, 2 plus 8 equals 10, 1 plus 9 equals 10.
Yes, so the factor that you're multiplying by 9 and the tens or the ones, the digit in the ones place is always going to add up to 10. So if we're doing, let's say, 8 times 9, which is what? 72. Does 8 plus 2 equals 10?
No. Yes.
8 plus 2, that equals 10?
Yeah.
Yes. What about, let's look at 11 times 9. Does anyone know what 11 times 9 is? What? 11 times 9? 99. Okay, so this time we're going to look at the ones place of the first factor and then the ones place of the product. So it's 1 plus 9. 10. So that works all the way up, or it should work. Okay. Yes, it should. Okay, now we're going to look at arrays, not doing instructions. We're going to look at arrays and how we can use arrays to make sure that we can use the add 10, subtract 1. So we're going to go back to that. What was the add 10, subtract 1 strategy? E. What do we do during the add 10, subtract 1?
So we add the 10 and then we subtract the 1.
What do we add 10 to?
Then it's the second factor.
The factors of what? Or no, not the factors. The multiples of 9s. And then what do we do?
And then we subtract.
We subtract 1. So we're trying to find the answer in this problem to 2 times 9. What type of array do we have here? I.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
2 rows of 9.
Count. Make sure.
2 rows of 10.
2 rows of 10. What's another way of saying 2 rows of 10?
2 times 10.
2 times 10, what's another one? Al, what's another way of saying 2 times 10 or 2 rows of 10? Is Al here? What's another way of saying 2 times 10 or 2 rows of 10? With arrays. What's another way to describe this array if it's 2 rows of 10? It does have 10 in each row. Emma, do you know? No, we have 2 rows of 10 right here because rows always go around. Kylie?
2 rows of 10.
We do have 2 rows of 10. It starts with a G. Anyone know? Yes, Maria.
10 groups of 2.
Do we have 10 groups of 2 right here?
2 groups of 10.
2 groups of 10, right. Okay. So if we're starting with a array of 2 rows of 10 or 2 groups of 10, we are trying to find 2 times 10. So or 2 times 9, I'm sorry. So with arrays, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract the factor that we're multiplying by 9 from the arrays. So if we're subtracting 2, that was bad, cross out. How many do we have in this row? So, everyone.
10.
How many do we have in this row?
8.
So if we have 1 row of 10, what do you think would go in the tens place of our number? If we have 1 row of 10, C. Who's C?
Yeah.
Yes, if we have 1 row of 10 left, what goes in our ones place? Or in our tens place, I'm sorry. If we have 1 row of 10 left in our array, what number would go in our tens place in our product? Yeah, fun. $100. Did we have 100 to start out with? In our tens place, if we have 1 group of 10 left. Okay, so what number would go in our tens place? What number is in the tens place of the number 10? If we have a number 10, what number is in our tens place? We have this number right here. What number is in our tens place right here? 1. So if we have 1 group of 10, what number would be in our tens place? 1. Okay, and then how many 1s do we have left? So we got rid of this one since this is all 10. And then how many 1s do we have left?
8.
8. So what number would go in our ones place?
8.
8. So did we solve our problem of 9 times 2?
Yes.
Because 9 times 2 is
18.
18. Good. So let's try it with 9 times 3. So if we're doing the same thing, we need to start with an array of what? If we're trying to do the same thing we did up here.
3 rows.
3 rows of 9. So what I want you to do is draw that on your whiteboard. You can erase your multiple. Oh.
3 rows of 9.
What?
3 rows of 9.
No, we're starting out the same. So we started out with 2 rows of 10. We should draw, if we're trying to find 3 times 9 with arrays like this, we need 3 rows of 10. Here, what do you need? Yours won't erase?
Ms. Moore? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, George. Now, please.
Okay, thank you.
Oh. Do you want to take it?
Who needs to do a lunch? I don't need to eat. Do you really need to?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being funny.
Okay. So everyone should have an array of 3 rows of 10, and we're trying to find the answer to 3 times 9. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing that we did with finding 2 times 9. How many did we take away when we were finding 2 times 9? G. G. Who's G? Okay. How many did we take away when we were trying to find 2 times 9? 2. So how many do you think we're going to take away when we have 3 times 9? Yes, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Q. Q. How many rows of 10s do we have left? 2. So what number would go in our 10s place? If we have 2 rows of 10 left, 2 full rows of 10, what number would go in our 10s place? 2. That's it. Guys, I'm really bad at writing sideways. Okay, thanks. So with R, who's R? Okay, how many 1s do we have left if we got rid of this group and this group by writing 2 10s? How many do we have if we already put our 10s down, our full groups of 10, so we don't have this row anymore or this one? How many 1s do we have left? Yeah, you can use it. Good idea. 7. So is that the right multiple of 3 times, or the right product of 3 times 9?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is the one that AJ talked about earlier. That's a really, really easy way of finding multiples of 9 with your hands. So I need everyone to put their whiteboards on the carpet with their markers and erasers. And I think you guys already know this. We're just going to review it. Awesome. So you're going to learn it again.
I know.
Okay. So everyone has hands up. Both hands up like this. Y'all can put it in front of yourself because you got to read them. Okay, so I'm going to do it backwards so you guys can do it. But you're going to work like with your left hand. This pinky is 1. On your right hand, this pinky is 10. Okay? So I'm going to do it backwards. So this pinky for me is going to be 1. This pinky for me is going to be 10. So with your numbers, so this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. With using this, the pinky on your left hand is 1. Yeah. So with this strategy, what you're going to do, you're going to take the factor that you're multiplying by 9 and count down that finger. So, AAA, what's a number 1 through 10? Double A, I'm sorry. 1 through 10, any number. 9. So we're going to multiply 9 by 9. So we're going to count down to our 9th finger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to put that finger down. Okay? Then we're going to look at the number of fingers that we have on the left side of the finger that's down. How many fingers do we have on the left side? 8. How many fingers do we have on the right side? 1. So then you can take it out. Yeah. So the number that is on the left side of the finger that we have down is going to be in our 10s place. And the number that's on the right side is going to be in our 1s place. So what number is in our tens place? Not with this. 8. What number is in our ones place? 1. Let's try another one. Let's do 5 times 9. So how many do we count down? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What number is on the right?
4.
I'm sorry. What number is on the left? 4. What number is on the right? 5. So what number is in our tens place?
45.
What number is in our fives or in our ones place? 5. What number do we have altogether?
45.
45. Awesome. So you guys can erase your boards. Emma, can you get those? In a second, let me get the instructions. Those 2 paper, you put paper in there? No? Both of them. Okay, you can erase all of it. We're not going to use this. Thank you. Awesome, thank you. Okay, so you can use it on your pockets.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, this little side conversation going on in this classroom, you know better. You understand me? You better free your hands right now. You know better? You know my expectation. Unless you want homework tonight, because that's where I am right now. I am so embarrassed. Unless you want homework tonight, your voice is quiet, your hands are free, and you are listening to instruction. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to have 2 activities, and then after a certain amount of time, we're going to switch and you're going to do the other activity. But I'm going to explain both activities now, and if you have any questions, you can ask them when we split off, okay? So the first one is called array capture, and this one is just going to help us review how to use arrays. So the instructions are on here as well, but I'm going to explain it right now. You're going to have those dice that have the, you have the ones that have the little dice inside. You're going to have those. The little dice is going to be your tens place. The big dice is going to be your ones place. So with a partner, you're going to roll. Let's say I roll 6 in the little die and a 4 on the big die. That means that, I'm sorry, I explained that wrong. The little die is going to be your rows. Your big die is going to be your columns. So if I roll a 6 for my little die, that's going to be my rows. So I'm going to have 6 rows and then a 4. So I'm going to have 4 columns, right? And you're going to make that array. You're going to write in the multiplication sentence for it. So if I have 6 rows of 4, what would the multiplication sentence be?
Okay, what's the little dice?
The little dice is the rows. Thank you. And the big dice is the columns. So if I have 6 rows of 4, what would the multiplication sentence be?
6 times 4.
6 times 4, and then you're going to put the answer. So 6 times 4 is 24. So the first player is going to start in this one. Your first array has to be in this square. The second person is going to start in the bottom left one. The objective of the game is to get your arrays to as many spots on the grid as possible. So the winner, which doesn't get anything, this is just for fun and to learn, is going to, is the person that gets as many as they can without going onto the other's array. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, for the second activity, you're going to be working in groups, and we're just going to be practicing the strategies that we used today. So the first one is add 10, subtract 1, adding the digits up. So you're going to add the digits and the multiples up, and then you're going to be using your hands to do the last part. You're going to have cards. You're just going to pick a card up, whatever card that is, you're going to multiply that by 9, and then you're going to use the strategies to answer the questions here. Do you have any questions altogether before we start? AJ?
First one, what if someone hits the other person's array?
You can touch the other person's array, you just can't overlap them. So you have to figure out where your arrays fit. Okay.
Choose where your arrays go.
Yes, you can choose where your arrays go. You just can't overlap any arrays.
So you, like, does all your arrays have to touch each other?
Sorry, I didn't say that. Your arrays do have to touch. The arrays of the other person does not. You're going to use different colored markers for that. Yes. Okay. Or you're going to use different colored markers or colored pencils, whatever you have in your box. And then do you have a question? Okay. So what I need you to do is that back row right here, go to your tables, put up your dry erase markers and everything else. So, back row. You can ask what we do. Middle row, go back. Who did I take these from? Madison. First row, go back. Okay, tables. Okay. So tables 1 and 2, you're going to start with the array capture. So get out a marker or color pencil or something. No, don't use a dry erase marker.
It says dry erase.
I know. Do not use a dry erase marker.
Can I use a pen?
Because it ruins you.
Can
Yes.
use a pen?
I wouldn't. I would use a color pencil or marker. Oh wait, you only need one per group.
Can I use a pen?
Yes, that's fine.
I'm using a pen. Can I have your partner?
And then you guys are going to
Let's do a partner.
Okay, everyone needs to be seated in their chair. 5, 4, 3, 2. Candy, Niagara, Emma, get in the chair. Thank you. You're going to be working with partners, so you need one per partner. So you guys can play. You guys and you guys. You good? Here you go. You only need one, so I'm going to take this one. And then there's that one. Okay. I'm going to have you two work together. You two, and then you two. So can you give... It's going to be easier if you're working with your shoulder partner. So you two, and you two. So that one, do you already have your name on it? Or both your names on it? Okay, can you cross that one and put Allison? There you go. Okay, and I will get your cards and so array capture can start. Remember that the little dice is rows and the big dice are columns. So you're going, I'm going to do 3 and 3. So it's going to be you 3, then you 3. Okay, so this is
You gotta make our right there. I have longer hair. Miss Daniel, hold on.
Columns go down, and then rows go up. So this 5 is for row.
We'll just say
How many rows do you have? One. So that
one row.
Let's go.
this is an array.
So what are we
Put it
doing
all
here?
around. Okay. Do you guys have any? I'm just saying there's no pronunciation. Highlands Road. Okay, I need everyone in their seats. Everyone in their seats. AJ, Kylie. Okay, I just passed out the other activity. You can go ahead and give that to everyone. For the arrays, you are working in partners. There is one sheet per partner, per 2 people. Can I have all of the dice, please? Can I get the dice, please? Okay, and then you guys have No, you're working with your shoulder.
I basically
Okay, here's what you're gonna do. Okay, I want you to take both of the, I want every one of these handouts right here passed out, one to each person. Okay, this is your homework sheet tonight. This you are bringing back to me tomorrow because I'm grading it. Okay, I want it done. I want you to slide that sheet into your homework folder. It should not require you to get up if you're not moving, so I'm not going to waste this off anyway, right? Your array sheet.